the Dayton Area Broadcasters Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Steve Baker to the 2011 class.
We'd like to first welcome Charlie Day, retired captain of the organization, who is about his buddy Steve.
Charlie. Thank you, Ms. Over the years, all the many media folks that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, none more professional and none more respected and none more deserving than Steve Baker. I worked alongside Steve on many accidents, fires, crime scenes for 30 plus years. Nobody but nobody works harder or is able to produce a newsworthy video than this man. Steve is truly the Energizer Bunny. I'm convinced that Steve never sleeps. He is always on the scene with a camera in hand, and he is unrelenting. Combine that with the fact that Steve Baker is the genuine article. Polite, professional, multi-talented. What you see is what you get. Steve Baker is a Hall of Famer, period.
Steve Baker's accomplishments in broadcasting have been remarkable, and it's often been said that the person most recognized in the northern Miami Valley is Steve Baker of News Center 7. He is highly respected throughout his service area and has established long-lasting friendships and relationships with persons of all areas of service, fire, police, government, and is known for his fair and objective reporting, his tenacity in researching a subject, his loyalty to his associates, and the high personal standards of work efforts, always performing his best.
I've worked with Steve since probably the day that he started in broadcasting, and it's been a wonderful ride with him. I have to tell you that Steve is extremely respected. I have no problem telling Steve something and saying, can you wait a couple hours before you release it? And no problem. He'll wait. There's that kind of trust between us that pretty much anything that we would ask of each other, we'll do it.
Steve began his broadcasting career in 1970 as a news reporter with WPTW-FM. He soon moved into the position of news director. He later joined WGTN as a part-time news photographer, and then joined WHIO Television, and the rest is history.
One of my first jobs in life was working at the Dale Theater on North Main Street. His father was the manager there, and he also was my boss. I had two jobs, making popcorn and changing his diapers. And boy, what a man he turned out to be. People don't realize what he does in a day's time. He covers 6 counties. He runs 24 hours a day. He goes out, tapes the story, gathers the story, does interviews, comes back to Troy, edits the story, and then writes the story, and then it airs, and then he transmits it to the Channel 7. He's unbelievable what he does. He works 365 days a year. He doesn't stop. He's always running. And for a man to be inducted into this Hall of Fame, he's one of them, and I'm so happy for him.
Steve is currently serving on the Riverside of Miami County MRDD Board, on the Facilities Planning Committee of St. Patrick Catholic Church, the Troy Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, and as the committee chair of the A. Robert Davies, MD Memorial Outstanding Young Man Award. He's also had numerous awards, just to name a few: the Ohio News Photographers Association Award, Queen City Society of Professional Journalists, and the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association Award.
Quite frankly, we would have something that was going to go down, and I wasn't afraid of calling Steve and say, be at so-and-so location at so-and-so time, and you'll have a story. And he always, he would show up, never ever get in the way, and always handled, himself professionally. But yet, when we were off camera, he and I could kid with each other, and that's sometimes I think that's how you get by doing the reporting as well as doing our job is all the death you see.
The Dayton Area Broadcasters Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Steve Baker to the 2011 class.
I could do it in a minute and 20. So here goes. I want to thank my wife and family, and those who orchestrated this surprise nomination, and those who wrote some pretty nice words. When my dad hired me at WPTW back in 1970, he told the news director that I'll give him 6 months. If he doesn't work out, it's out the door. 13 and a half years later, I moved my next step in the career, and I thank Channel 2 for believing in me, and Chuck Updegrove for stealing me away from there. My parents, by example to the Baker kids, that when it was time to work, you worked, and when it was time to play, you played. And I haven't quite mastered that part of it yet. I'm still trying. But work's fun anyway. It's play to me. Here's a quick little story. I want to just put it into a nutshell what my career has been like over these 40 years. This is a true story, but I can't tell you what county it happened in because the sheriff is at table 16. I was heading to Troy from Pickwick to go respond to a traffic accident when a sheriff's deputy, a $1-a-year deputy, was heading north towards Pickwick with a red light and siren. He saw me, he turned around, pulled me over. I got out of my car, the Volkswagen Beetle, walked back to his, and he had a map all laid out in the front seat of the car. He said, "Baker, where's Wilson and Fenner?" That's where I met Sheriff Cox. And I said, "Follow me." So it was like a hot pursuit. I even busted a stop sign at a state highway to get to the scene. I got to Wilson Road, I pulled over, sheriff's deputy went around me, he pulled up to the scene like he knew where he was going. Again, I want to thank you very much. And I want to offer this one to my parents, my mom, and my dad.